Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for a very special video. Alright, so today we are going to jump into the time machine and travel back 16 years to the year 2007 as we take a look at this. From Hasbro in the G.I. Joe line, we have the 25th anniversary Commando, also known as Snake Eyes. Okay, so I'm going to apologize in advance. This will not be an unboxing. We're going to examine the action figure as is, mint on card. Okay, so back in 2007, G.I. Joe, A Real American Hero, was celebrating its 25th anniversary. It was a big deal at the time. Hasbro went all out and reintroduced us to the heroes of G.I. Joe from the 80s, but they updated designs with slightly larger action figures, which were highly detailed, came with tons of accessories, and if you're a Joe fan, it was like a complete blessing. It was I don't want to say it was unexpected, but prior to 2007, Hasbro was dabbling in G.I. Joe, with different lines. But this was very special because they were honoring the very iconic 80s iteration of G.I. Joe, and fans, much like myself, were just ecstatic. It was a great time to be a Joe fan. We were getting the classic characters, but with updated action figure engineering. And as you can see, it's such a beautiful figure. Even though the figure is 16 years old, I think it still holds up very well today. As you can see, this is based off of version 2 of Snake Eyes, not version 1. Version 1 was the much more stealth combat or stealth commando looking Snake Eyes with the goggles and the suspenders. This Snake Eyes is more so associated with being, Ninja Snake Eyes. They came with Timber, his trusty wolf companion. He's also known for having the slitted visor on his face, and it's a really, really nice action figure. It's a kind of a nice shade of gray, and he comes with multiple weapons. He comes with his katana, his Uzi, his knife. He comes with a display base. And the package design is a nice throwback to the old card backs with the really cool character illustration with the giant explosion in the back. And to celebrate the 25th anniversary, the G.I. Joe logo is covered in silver foil. So this was a great time to be a Joe fan. I'd like to equate kind of like the enthusiasm Joe fans had for this with the enthusiasm that Joe fans today have for the Classified series. It was really cool in 2007 to get the classic designs, but to have them updated, it was cool. For me, growing up in the 80s, I grew up with the old G.I. Joes with the O-rings and the swivel biceps, but it was just so awesome to finally get like a modern engineered Joe figure. Much like today, if you're a Joe fan who grew up in the 80s, it's a remarkable feeling to get like the 6-inch scale Joes. And it's just, I don't know, G.I. Joe's always kind of had a history, in pop culture, especially in the realm of action figures. So it's just kind of cool that the tradition continues, up until today. But back in 2007, if you're a Joe fan, these figures were just awesome. It was a much beloved line, and it's something that I'm very fond of. Over here we have the awesome file card with a really meaty bio on Snake Eyes. And then they kind of tease you here with the character silhouettes of upcoming action figures. And it didn't stop here either. It's like, the years post this, Hasbro just kept on giving us more and more 25th anniversary style action figures. And it was great. It was such a wonderful time to be a Joe fan, much like today. So I really just wanted to share this with you. I found this in the wild recently, and I got it for a steal of a price. I think I got it for maybe like $18, which for me I think is great. This is a piece of history that really takes me back. I used to have this figure mint on card years ago. I had a solid collection of mint on card 25th anniversary figures, but maybe like a little over 10 years ago I sold the collection, and I regretted it ever since. Not that I'm trying to reclaim every figure I lost, but for me, if I could grab a handful of the iconic characters or the figures I was really fond of, it makes the hunt worthwhile. Alright, so let's wrap this one up. Once again, my name is Lou. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and most importantly, be happy. And I'll see you at the next one. Alright, later.